For centuries, the Galactic Council had treated Earth as a small, insignificant world. To them, humans were newcomers, a primitive species from the edge of a forgotten spiral arm. The other civilizations spoke of them with condescension. Their technology was considered outdated, their fleet small, their traditions quaint. Humans had been invited to the Council only out of courtesy, as a gesture toward inclusivity, not because anyone thought they mattered. But that illusion ended on the day humanity decided to respond to an act of arrogance that would echo across the galaxy forever. It began when the Council demanded that all species contribute ships to the Galactic Defense Fleet. Pirates and rogue empires had begun attacking neutral systems, and the Council believed unity was the only solution. Each civilization offered what they could. The Varn provided elegant cruisers built from living metal. The Tyreth donated swift corvettes capable of folding space in moments. The grandest of all was the Halrics, who unveiled their massive dreadnoughts towering like mobile cities. When it was humanity's turn, the chamber fell quiet. The Earth ambassador stood calmly and declared that humanity would provide only one ship. Laughter filled the vast chamber. One ship was a joke to them. The Halrics delegate, whose people had ruled the stars for 10,000 years, mocked the statement openly, saying that humans could barely build ships that survived hyperspace storms. The ambassador only smiled and replied that their ship would arrive in 3 days. The Council expected a small cruiser, perhaps something retrofitted from mining vessels. Instead, the galaxy witnessed the arrival of something that should not have existed. The ship emerged from the edge of the Sol Gate with a rumble that shook scanners across multiple sectors. It was vast, longer than the Halrics' flagship by a full kilometer. Its surface gleamed with black titanium and silver panels. Every angle was sharp, efficient, and lethal. The words UNS Valiant were etched along its hull, though the translation devices struggled to convey the full meaning of the word. When the Council's observers analyzed the readings, disbelief turned into shock. The Valiant carried power cores that dwarfed anything known to the galaxy. Its energy signature pulsed like the heart of a star. Weapon ports lined its surface. Rail cannons, missile tubes, plasma lances, each calibrated with precision. But what stunned everyone most was the silent confidence of its arrival. The ship didn't broadcast messages or threats. It simply waited in orbit above the neutral station as if it owned the sky. The Halrics commander requested a demonstration. He wanted to test the human ship's strength, convinced it was all bluff. The human fleet officer, a man known only as Commander Lee, accepted with calm politeness. A simulation arena was set up above the barren moon of Trinor 7. The Halrics' dreadnought Eternal Crown would face the Valiant in a controlled exercise. Observers from all major empires tuned in, ready to enjoy what they thought would be humanity's humiliation. The match began. The Eternal Crown opened fire with its plasma arrays. A blinding wave of energy surged across space, yet before it could even touch the human ship, the Valiant shifted position instantly. Observers gasped. The sensors didn't register a hyperspace jump, nor a standard warp signature. The human ship had moved several kilometers sideways, as if it had simply chosen to exist somewhere else. Then, without warning, the Valiant fired once. A thin beam of blue light lanced forward. It didn't explode. It didn't roar. It simply passed through the Halrics' dreadnought like a knife through paper. Seconds later, the Eternal Crown broke apart in silence, sliced cleanly from bow to stern. The broadcast ended in stunned silence. For the first time in generations, the Halrics' fleet had lost a battle, and not to an empire, but to Earth. The Council demanded an explanation. The humans complied with calm transparency. They explained that the weapon was a magneto-lattice pulse cannon, a technology the rest of the galaxy didn't even understand the basics of. It manipulated gravity fields on the quantum level, allowing the beam to ignore shields and hull composition entirely. From that day forward, no one laughed at Earth again. But that was only the beginning. The pirates that had been threatening neutral systems decided to test humanity's resolve. They gathered near the Hellar Expanse, a region filled with old wrecks and sensor-absorbing dust. They believed they could ambush the Valiant there, capture it, and sell its secrets to the highest bidder. What they didn't realize was that humans had anticipated such arrogance. When the pirates arrived, their fleet of over 200 ships found themselves facing not one, but 6 human vessels. Each one was enormous, their hulls dark as night. The lead ship transmitted a brief message. "This is Earth's response. Then, without further words, the battle began. The pirates fired first. Missiles streaked across the void. Energy blasts flared like miniature suns, but the human ships didn't even move. Their shields absorbed every impact. When the dust cleared, the Valiant spoke again. A single command was given. Every human ship released a swarm of small spheres, autonomous drones that glowed faintly blue. The drones accelerated faster than any known interceptor. In under 30 seconds, every pirate vessel was disabled. Not destroyed, not vaporized, disabled with their weapons melted and engines frozen. The battle was over in less than a minute. News of the event spread like wildfire. The Council called an emergency summit to discuss the implications. The Halrics, who had once mocked Earth, now proposed a treaty of alliance. The Varn suggested a technology exchange. Even the elusive Tyrith sent emissaries seeking cooperation. Humanity, once overlooked, now stood as the single most powerful military presence in the galaxy. And yet, humans did not boast. Their leaders reminded the Council that power was not their goal. They had learned through their own history that dominance brought only chaos. Instead, they offered protection and balance. Humanity became the silent guardian of the stars, a species feared not for cruelty, but for what they could do if provoked. Still, curiosity lingered. How had humans built such ships? Where had their technology come from? The truth lay hidden in the quiet depths of Earth's solar system. For decades, humans had been preparing in secret. They had studied the ruins left behind by ancient precursors buried under Martian sands and deep within Earth's oceans. They had reverse-engineered fragments of technologies that other species ignored, calling them impossible relics. Humans did not accept impossibility. They built, experimented, failed, and rebuilt again. The result was a technology that blended human ingenuity with ancient power. What other civilizations called arrogance, humans called determination. Soon, the galaxy's balance shifted. Border wars ceased. Pirate factions surrendered before firing a shot. Even the Halric's empire began to disarm some of its older fleets. A strange peace settled across the stars, and at its center stood humanity, watching quietly. But peace never lasts forever. A century-old enemy of the Council, the Vorn Dominion, launched a surprise offensive across 3 sectors. Their fleets outnumbered the combined Council forces 3-1. They captured dozens of worlds within days, their ships black and silent, their commanders ruthless. The Council pleaded for Earth's help. The humans listened carefully and agreed to intervene, but on one condition. This would be the last war of the galaxy. The Valiant, along with a dozen new battleships from Earth's arsenal, entered the conflict. The humans did not attack immediately. They observed. They analyzed every enemy formation, every communication channel, every weakness. When they finally struck, it was not with rage, but with precision so terrifying that no one could call it anything but divine. The Vorn fleets vanished one after another. Human ships used weapons that rewrote the rules of battle. Gravity itself became a weapon, tearing through cruisers and collapsing enemy formations. One moment, the Vorn armada filled the void. The next, only drifting wrecks remained. No one could understand how humans coordinated such attacks. It was as if their ships were extensions of a single will. In the aftermath, the Vorn leader surrendered unconditionally. The war had lasted just 48 hours. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Even the oldest empires realized they had no choice but to accept humanity's place as the new pillar of stability. When the Council gathered once more, the human ambassador stood in the center of the hall. There was no pride in his eyes, only quiet understanding. He told them that Earth would not rule, but would ensure that the galaxy never descended into chaos again. The lesson was simple. Humanity had always sought peace, but if mocked, threatened, or cornered, they would respond with strength that no one could match. Over time, the myths began to spread. Stories told across star systems spoke of the silent fleets of Earth that patrolled the dark edges of known space. Some said the humans had ships invisible even to light. Others whispered that they had built a weapon capable of ending suns. The humans neither confirmed nor denied such stories. They simply continued to watch. Generations passed and the fear turned into respect. New civilizations arose and they too learned the old saying, never underestimate humanity. Because when humans fight, they don't fight for conquest or power. They fight for survival, and survival makes them unstoppable. There came a day when a young alien historian visited Earth to learn about this mysterious species. He expected to find a planet covered in military bases and Toei,